Okay, welcome to SAP Production Planning Part 1. Today, we are going to cover some basic concepts, starting with Material Master. What is contained in Material Master? It stores info regarding procurements, manufacturers, and this data is then stored in a database, and Material Master integrates with various parts of the company. This is the hierarchy that becomes the landscape of SAP for an enterprise. At the top, we have a client. At the very bottom, we have plants. Plants basically are connected with valuation areas, which is equal to a plant, and valuation areas are used for material ledger, for evaluating material in different currencies, and plants are then connected with company codes, and company codes report to the controlling area. Plant is an organizational unit where materials and stocks get produced or stored or distributed and consumed. And a plant is defined for a manufacturing facility, warehouse, distribution, or it can serve as a corporate headquarter, or it can be a sales office. This is coming from the dimension where profitability analysis, the concept of profitability analysis is also reflected with this organizational unit called plant, where your manufacturing facility can be your one business unit. So can be a sales office. Now, these are units for profitability analysis as well. These are the organization levels where storage locations report to the plant. And at the plant level, we have production levels, valuation levels. For material master, the client is the top node, but the material master is also segregated and distributed in various parts that are client specific. Some parts are plant specific and some are storage location specific. As we can see, client level means universal level that will be available to plants and storage locations as well, like material number, which is universal, description, units of measure, technical data. This will be available universally, while plant-specific data will be specific explicitly for that very plant, like MRP data, work scheduling, purchasing data, and elements, of course, extending beyond in that hierarchy. Material types. Now, material types can be raw materials, semi-finished goods, semi-finished goods, packaging, non-valuated material, and competitive products. These are material types, but we can have industry sectors that come at the top, and under that industry sectors, we have material types of various. Now, since we have an example over here is the chemicals, we can have something like mixtures or uh, bonds or catalysts. These can be industry sectors, or plastics, for example. Cement, again, that is an industry sector. Under those industry sectors, like chemicals that we see here, we have material types. Now, in chemicals, of course, there would be raw materials, there would be semi-finished goods, packaging, and finished goods, competitive products, sample products, non-valuated products, and so on. Material types, these control views, department views in the material data, and it maintains material data, and it controls how quantities are evaluated, and quantities and qualities and values are updated in the system. And it also controls how the material is obtained, is procured either internally or externally, and what GL accounts for financial integrations will be used over here. It influences internal processing. Material type are used for stocks, reservations, and documents that are handling reservations and stocks. GL accounts are maintained profit centers are maintained in material master, but material type actually dictates the GL accounting, the GL accounts that will integrate with finance and MM subsequently and consequentially. And for each material type, like raw materials will have their own set of GL accounts, which is balance sheet accounts for stocks, consumption accounts, that is for profit and loss account, consumption accounts, and we have GRIR accounts for material types as well that serve as intermediary or arbitrary auxiliary GL accounts, which are solely and purely used for reconciliation of material and for vendor invoicing. And of course, for other conditions like returns, discounts, these are accounted for by GRIR accounts, and later on, these are then posted and transferred to respective accounts at the end of a certain period or at the time of reconciliation. Industry sectors that we have seen, they can be many, and these can be configured in MM as well. These are the views in Material Master that we will be working with in very much detail. Now, coming to production planning, there are views, there are tabs in Material Master that we'll see very shortly. In basic data view, we have these very segments like material number, unit of measure, cross plant material status. In MRP views, we have procurement types, pricing strategy, backflushing, MRP group and controller, repetitive manufacturing. Then we have work scheduling views that controls delivery tolerances, quality inspection indicator, receipt, issue, storage location, and elements like that. We can also copy from a material. If we have a material, we can use it as a template. The defaults in Material Master, it predefines industry sector. And for MRP, we can have default values for forecasting data fields and rules for MRP. The screens that we have in Material Master have dynamic and versatile purposes like purchasing, basic data, and so on. And in those, the details that we can maintain is molecular details for a material like document data, unit of measure, consumption, and so on. Number assignment, yes, for each material type, we can have a different document numbering range and material master range. For a material, the series can start with, let's say, assuming 10, for semi-finished for 20, finished goods 30. For packaging, we can have external numbers as well. For finished goods, we can have external numbers as well. If we are dealing with manufacturing concern that manufactures custom orders, so customized sales orders will have their own numbering range, external numbering range, to identify that this product is specifically for a customer. Then material numbers can be defined at a level. There are 18 characters. We can have in these 18 spaces, we can have either leading zeros, like for example, if a material number is 100, 100, or 101, to fill the preceding 15 characters, then we can precede it with leading zeros. That is the option that we can have. And material numbers can be programmed using units of measure as well, where different types of material grouping or types like carton, crate, and pallets can have their own numbering range based on the unit of measure. On that basis as well, we can have a numbering range. Grouping units of measure, we can create units of measure group, which can have alternative units, and we can create material master based on that group. We'll see how. Document usage. Now, documents, the material masters can be used for various purposes. Okay, for bills of material, we'll see in very much detail, and material master records are maintained as well. Documents contain information that is useful either the person or it's used for transferring between systems. Material status. A material status for plant and basic data that we maintain. Of course, it has control for various areas like purchasing, plant maintenance, inventory, routing, and that controls how a material will be utilized with controls like no dialog warning or error. We can extend a material to other plants also. Okay. Materials list. Now, at every level, of course, if you want to search for a material, it can be searched using numbers, or it can be searched using plant segmentation and based on material type. And for users that have created that material, we can use the user's name. We can also set a deletion flag for a material if that material is obsolete or was a sample that was, or a template or a prototype. We can use it, and if it is obsolete, not in trend, if the technology has changed or advanced, then a material can be deleted also. Then the material is archived. Classification systems, this is user defined order structure, and it influences various other areas and uses data from other areas like documents, routing headers, and material master records. And we have classes in material master. Those classes can be of material types, like over here we have pump. In pump, we have characteristics. Classes will have character like features of a car. Now, car is a sedan or a station wagon or a hatchback or a two-door hatchback, like that. So in a pump, of course, the features, the components that we have will have pump lift, output, turning speed, material, RPMs, for example, and that classification will be used to create a material master. Finding a material. Yes, finding a material can be used using components like material type, plant, and user defined also. Groups. Yes, now groups are basically made for example, we have a hatchback car in red variant or chrome variant, whatever, or model variant that can be made as a group. For example, that's material 471111, and that will be used by a user authorization group 150. The other will be used for other group authorization group 50. Okay. And authorization groups have authority to change or create or delete or maybe nothing at all. So now let's go to MM01 will be create a material PP1. Industry sector will be mechanical engineering, raw material, and of course, raw material, whether we are buying it from outside. And outside means we will use the indicator F, which is external, okay, semi-finished goods. And what we are buying from outside will not be finished, of course. It will be either raw material or semi-finished. In processing, we'll see internal procurement. The indicator is E. Internal procurement, again, is like you're buying it from another plant internally. It's semi-finished goods for further processing to make it into finished goods. Okay, finished goods are internally procured from another plant, and the indicator is E. Okay, and if a product is or material is procured both internally and produced internally and procured internally, then we'll have an indicator X. To mark it as available for both options. What is the configuration part? That is SPRO, logistics general, material master, basic settings, material types. Define attributes of material types, internal, external purchase orders, 0, 1, 2. This is what we are going to see. Let me just, okay. Logistics, material management, material master, material, generalized, okay, material, MAT, PP1, industry, mechanical, material type is ROH, which is raw material. ROH is the code, and raw material standard SAP, ROH, select views, basic data. Okay. Basic data, purchasing, purchase order text, MRP, all areas, general plant data, accounting 2, costing 1, costing 2, costing 2. This is the plant that we'll just use default SAP plants right now, which is work 01, and storage location will be default. We don't have 05. Okay. Now, MRP1 will just cover that as well. MAT PP1, base unit of measure each or pieces, material group. Now, material group, as I told you earlier, internal table. Group. Okay. We have some errors over here. So let's 01, external material group, division. This is again defined at material, at plant level. Basic data. Okay. Purchasing. 01, purchasing group. Automatic PO. If it is procured, it will create automatic PO. Whether it is used in batch, of course, for batch, there is a separate configuration. Not text maintained, blank text has been created in English automatically, not at PP1, MRP1, MRP type. MRP type is not shown over here. Okay. Base unit measure is pieces, purchasing group is 01, material group is tetra 0. Okay, and this will be PD. And what is PD? We'll discuss that later. MRP controller, this is used for reporting. Okay, and lot size X. Lot size X. Okay, this is for lot sizing quantity and for static lot sizing procedures. MRP areas, we will discuss that. MRP 2, it has 4 parts: procurement type, scheduling, net requirements calculation. In procurement type, we have external, which is that this will be MRP controller. Okay. MRP controller. Who is the MRP controller here? Two entries found. What are the two entries? Two entries are there, but it's not showing up. 001. MRP2, we have procurement, we have scheduling, we have net requirements calculation. And in MRP1, we've already seen what are the paths. ABC indicator. Now, A is high value, low consumption material. B is medium value, medium consumption. C is low value, high consumption. This is in particular for raw materials. Now, plant specific material status, it's for blockages when a product or material or stock is made and transferred to another plant, whether it should be used for consumption or it needs quality inspection. So it will be blocked for further processing or consumption or issuance. So plant specific material status is that it can be restricted. Okay, next is procurement type external. Okay, procurement type is 4 entries found. It says X, we want F. Okay, F is procurement external. And scheduling margin key, there are 4 parameters. Float before production. Float before production means the cooling period before or the preparation period before production. Float after production, the cooling time. Opening period and release period. Cushion given before start of production, which is given in days. So that is a schedule margin keys. Planning delays may occur. Cushion before and after production given. Opening period to open orders. Release for order checking. Evaluation, release, cushion days are given. Planned delivery time for, of course, when will the material roll out? That is the time. MRP2, there are 3 tabs: procurement, scheduling, net requirements. So what are net requirements? There are gross requirements, there are net requirements. For example, there's a requirement of 100 pieces, stock available is 50, net requirement is 50. And if there is a requirement of 100 pieces, stock available 50, gross requirement is 100. So in total, the current status that is shown by net requirements planning. MRP3. Okay. MRP2, let's give it planned delivery time of like 3 days. MRP3. MRP3, forecast requirements planning. These are the parts in this MRP3 tab. Availability check. Now planning strategy group. In planning, we have strategy group. This is significant for semi-finished goods and finished goods. Independent requirement and customized requirement. Independent requirement is based on production history. The forecast is based on expectations. Customer requirement is order based. Availability check. Order for 100 pieces, system checks for availability of the stock. Okay, the strategy group. And make to stock. Okay, this will be 10. Make to stock. Adopt. Okay. And fiscal year variant, we don't need that right now. Availability check. KP. Total replenishment lead time. And availability check is 0.1. And next is MRP4. MRP4 has 4 parts: bomb explosion, discontinued parts, repetitive manufacturing, storage location. MRP. Use for bomb explosion, discontinued parts, repetitive manufacturing, storage locations. All details are for repetitive manufacturing. And repetitive is production of the same material irrespective of customer requirement. Like in beverages, of course, the bottles are created no matter what the order is. Bomb explosion is individual collective requirement. Production orders are collectively clubbed. Individual ones are separately created with requirements. Okay. And three entries found. Okay, plant data, storage bin, Plant data, we have base unit of measure pieces and period indicator for period indicator. Where is it? Okay. Now period indicator, what is this? Shelf life, expiration date. It's already maintained. Shelf life. Okay. Accounting 1 pieces and price control is S, which is standard price. Okay. Next is costing 1 pieces and enter a standard price 100. Okay, so valuation class is 7920, which is for finished goods. Price determination, that's in costing. Now, basically, this is multi-level or single level or transaction based. This is for periodic costing, basically, whether it's done on standard price or moving average. And of course, single and multi-level, it's based on periodic price where the price is standard, but the costing price is statistically costed for reporting purposes. Okay, costing 1 will move ahead. With quantity structure is a combination of bills of material and routing. Okay, do not cost if that material is such that, like using water in processing, which cannot be costed, so we will not cost it. Okay, origin group. Okay, overhead groups, everything costing, lot size is 1. Okay, and next is we'll just save it. Plant 0 profit center. We don't have a profit center right now. We'll go for OKKN PPC1. Okay, in PPC1, we'll just check the quantity structure control. Over here, pass on lot size. Okay, and in costing 2, valuation class is 3000. Work scheduling, finished products. OPKP. Now these are scheduling profiles. We'll just have a look at that. But first, let me MM02 MAT PP1 and in costing 2. I need costing 2, so it will take me directly to that. Okay, 001 7920. No, we want 3000, which is for raw materials. Price control, V, which is moving average. Moving price unit is 1. We don't have a moving price here right now. And work scheduling. Work scheduling. We don't have work scheduling. Okay, in work scheduling, we need to have this. Anyways, we'll save it. Valuation class is not allowed. Okay, 7920. This is for ROH. Then in this, okay, work scheduling. If we don't have work scheduling, we'll have to enable it through OMS2. Okay. OPKP. Work scheduling. OPKP plant plus scheduling profile 0002. Plant is 001. And scheduling profile will be 002. Okay. Okay. We will store all of our configuration here. Okay. Work scheduling profile, plant 001. Okay. Let's save it. And we'll just have, okay, the rest of the things are just by default. We'll also keep that. Okay. Now that's it for today. Yep. Thank you for watching. This was our first lecture for production planning. Thank you very much. Have a great day ahead. We'll be back with more lectures very soon, every day. Bye bye.